1.
Buenos noches, amigos, and welcome to episode 26 of Not Another Sox podcast. I'm Jack Webster here with Matt Galveo and Matt LeBeau. This fucking sucks!
Man, that was probably the most fitting intro I think we've ever had on any
I literally
episode.
went over this one in my head. I was like, there's no other. I can't start the show with high energy today. It's just,
No,
God fucking damn it.
yeah, it's about as low energy as you can get right now. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good. We're trending in a very poor direction. The Orioles are right on our asses right now, which is never a good thing. And yeah, it's getting pretty bad at up here in the Boston area.
Well, yeah, I mean I would say we're like actors in a sense. We put on a brave face, come on here. Like we don't want to be here. No one wants to be here. This is brutal. This is grotesque. It's 9:00 on a Sunday. I just woke up from a nap, and the Red Sox make me absolutely want to blow my brains out. I actually hate the Red Sox. I don't think they exist currently. I'm refusing they exist. But like we can only do so much. I'm genuinely sad. I'm very, very sad about the Red Sox, and it really sucks. It really sucks right now. This sucks. This sucks. This sucks. This sucks.
I mean, there was so much. It sucks even worse because there was so much positivity heading into this season. After the nice run that we had in the playoffs last year. All the way to the ALCS, and there was a lot of hype around this team. Obviously, it was they deserved it. They deserved the hype. They played well. At the end of last year and made a run, and we had a lot of the similar pieces come in into this year. You got pretty much your core still here, and they just really haven't measured up to what the expectations have been coming into this year. Obviously, like I mentioned before, the Orioles are right behind us, which is never a good thing. It's not where you want to be right now. You drop a series to them this weekend, which is never a good thing. And yeah, things are not looking great. A lot of mistakes were made this past week, and just sloppy play by the team is just not something that you want to see right now. So it's really hard to be positive about this team, and it's just not looking good right now. And hopefully we can get a nice little turnaround at some point.
Yeah, I mean, like you kind of mentioned it. What the fuck happened between, dancing on my own and being 2 games away from the World Series to, being beaten by the Baltimore Orioles in a best-of-3 series, and really, all 3 games were completely winnable. Obviously, that series in Toronto sucked too. But, that one to the Orioles, you needed to sweep. And to really even only get that one game out of it that, made you sweat bullets even, really just gives you a sour taste to end April.
Yeah. Wow. And I think it's like, yeah, it hurts worse when you think like back to October, back to, the lockout, and we waited so long, and we were hoping for a season. I wish it was still lockout.
Yeah.
Like
I wish we were doing the Chili's episode right now.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I literally wish we were like cooking up one of those special episodes honestly, it's just like, I love baseball. It's great to have baseball, but I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat this. Like this is hard as a fan, like you want to stick by your team. You want to watch them every night. But like, dude, every night is just something ridiculous. Some bullshit. It's just some bullshit every night. And it's just like no end in sight. And I'm not ready to give up, obviously. Yeah. It's incredibly early. But the way this team has performed has been like very, 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 very frustrating. And I think that maybe it's possible that the bottom of the lineup is worse than we thought. You know, like it's possible that that is actually the issue, and that is a long-term issue that
Yeah.
won't be addressed until some of these guys get replaced. It's possible that Christian Vasquez is not an MLB off player. It's possible that Bobby Dahlbeck's not an MLB player, which that's growing more increasingly more like the case. It's possible that Christian Arroyo's not an MLB player, Jackie Bradley's not an MLB player. These are all things that maybe this is just these guys like last year, last chance, and it's like maybe it's just not for them. Maybe Christian Vasquez is a lefty. I don't know, but watching him hit is brutal. And then he forgot how many outs there were. Like
that was unforgivable today.
And that's the thing. Like you be a guy. All right, like dude, if you hit 38 home runs and you get on base at like a 400 clip and drive in like 120 RBIs, dude, I don't care if you think how many outs are. I don't care if you think you're in fucking London. It doesn't fucking matter. You're hitting bombs and you're one of the best offensive players in the league. When you barely hit like when your OPS is like 500, you better fucking know how many outs there are when you're in the field. Like you better fucking know. Like you absolutely should know. And he is the worst hitter on the team, and he's supposed to be like there for defense, and you forget how many outs there are. Dude, unacceptable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, no, I honestly wished Alex Cora took him out of the game right then. Like, it really would have sent a message that, like, these types of errors are just not okay right now. And you don't want to embarrass the guy, but, like, he's one of the longest tenured players on the team right now. He needs to be setting that example. And I think he would have even understood if he got taken out of the game for making that huge a mistake when runs have been so scarce over the last few games.
Yeah, no, exactly. Especially like you mentioned, Jack, the way things have been going. Like, when things are going as badly as they are right now, it's those little details that need to be cleaned up and that you really can't afford to make mistakes on because, I mean, the offense has been pretty scarce, as of late. And, if you're giving up runs and you're forgetting, how many outs there are, at any given point in an inning, like that's just mistakes that just can't happen. Especially like you mentioned, Jack, too, from a veteran guy, a guy that's been around the team for a long time. It starts from those guys and it trickles down to, some of the younger guys. And when a veteran guy is making mistakes like that, it just can't happen. And it's unfortunate and did. And, something's definitely going to happen with the bottom of the lineup here because it's getting pretty brutal right now. And it showed this last week for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only the bottom of the lineup right now. It's really just about everybody. You guys are getting on base, just not driving anybody in. So it's, as bad as the bottom of the order has been too, it's not like the top of the order really has done too much either.
Right. And dude, like my biggest fear is, and I'm not looking too far into the future because we have a lot of fish to fry with this season. Like there's still a lot that needs to be done and there's a lot that they can improve on, and this season's not over. But like, dude, you look toward next year and it's like, what happens if they do lose Bogarts? Like how will they come back? How do you come back from that? Like the lineup how it is now is suffocating, and then what happens if Bogarts doesn't come back? And it's like, holy shit. Now like you have, what's your solution for next year at middle infield, like second base? Trevor Story moves over to shortstop. That's great. But second base, like Nick York isn't ready yet.
Nope.
Like you're not like, dude, and that's the thing. That's the other thing. It's like, this is the year because you have a lot of uncertainty past this year with Bogarts and then Devers after that. And it's like, you need to make this year count. So I don't know. I just wish that maybe there was a little more foresight in seeing that like these guys obviously just aren't ready to be a part of a world championship team. Like they're just not. Some of them aren't, and there's some of them are, But I think the top of the lineup, I think they'll figure it out. I think guys like Trevor Story will figure it out. I think Alex Verdugo will be fine. I think JD Martinez will be fine. Bogarts is excellent, and Devers is excellent, and they're going to continue to be excellent. But is it going to be enough to combat how terrible the bottom of the lineup really is? I don't know. To wait and see.
And even a guy like Kike has been struggling a lot lately as well. So he's a guy that you want to start getting hot, because when he, like we've said it before, when he gets hot, he can be one of the hottest hitters in the league. We saw it last year too. And I think we mentioned it before, maybe last episode too, is when a guy like him gets hot, it seems to trickle throughout the lineup. Like we saw last year in the playoffs. And I think maybe a key to this is if he can get hot, maybe other guys start picking it up as well. But I mean, he's definitely a guy that's been struggling for sure out of the gate.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it really feels like we just haven't had that moment in a game where we hit a go-ahead home run late and everybody's celebrating and having a good time. It really feels like we just haven't had that type of rally together type of.
Like a feel-good moment for the offense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's been plenty of opportunities. There's been plenty of opportunities to, have a late inning comeback that just kind of go to waste. And, we've hit 2 or 3 home runs over the last 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Half of them haven't even meant anything. And the one I want to talk about today is that JD grand slam in the 9th. I think everybody just about turned off their TV at that point. But like the fact that they bothered to do the home run cart on, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that. Like that might be the only time I'm not.
No, absolutely. I think like I'm glad they're still having fun, because I'm sure as fuck not. And like I think that's nice to see to an extent, to keep the tradition even in a blowout. But like, dude, you're losing. I mean, you're losing to the Orioles.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like this isn't the fucking 98 Yankees, the 0-1 Mariners, or fucking, like this is the Orioles. Like I mean, it is tough to see as a fan. It's like, yeah, okay. I mean, they're having fun. Sure. That's great. But dude, like we're not. I think we're not at all. It gives you a headache to watch.
It's almost kind of one of those things where it's just like, all right, guys, like read the room here. Like, things haven't been going swimmingly exactly, but that was definitely a tough look. And that grand slam by JD, it's just like, dude, like where is this offense like when it means something during the game? Like not just some garbage time grand slam that it's like, yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's nice to see it's nice to see them hit the ball, but I mean, it's like at the end of the game, it means nothing. You're still down by 4 too. So it's not like it even put you in a position where you could still win. I mean, there was like 1 out or 2 outs when he hit that, and it's just like, dude, you're still down by 4 runs. Like, let's just like,
right. There's guys on this team that haven't had an important extra base hit since September, October of last year. Like that's like, it's not like, yeah, all right, they've had extra base hits, sure, but an important extra base hit. We are now almost 25 games into 2022, and there are some guys that haven't had an extra, like a really, really important extra base hit in like a long, long time. Like that's, I mean, you like cattle. I'm not talking Bobby Dahlbacks and Christian Arroyos. I'm talking about like catalysts on this team, like important guys, and that's where it really hurts you. Like,
yeah,
that's where you really get hurt. Like Kike, like I mean, Kike, I think he had a good year last year. Obviously, I don't know how good of a player he is. I don't know if he's a top of the lineup guy. I just don't, like, at this point. Last year he showed he was, but was that just a 1-year thing? So, I mean, I got faith in him to turn it around, but like, I mean, it seems like he was turning on the ball last year, like he was exploding on the baseball. Anything inside, anything on the air and a half, he was absolutely just crushing. And this year, he's just like he's been doing that, and then it's been like 100 feet foul. You know, like he's had like the most like foul ball home runs on the team.
In the league.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, even, he hasn't, like you're saying, he hasn't really had a big hit. Trevor Story had that one go-ahead double in Toronto that didn't end up really meaning anything.
He's just looking for his first bomb, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully this homestand, I've been saying it the last few homestands now, but, maybe get that first one at Fenway, facing the Angels this week, maybe off Ohtani, like a good pitcher or something like that. And, really kind of get the ball started to roll. Obviously he hasn't had the best start. I think all of us still, have plenty of faith in him. I'm not worried about him, but, it's not ideal. And, obviously he had that whole situation to start off the year with having the kid and then getting food poisoning and then just minor injuries here and there. So I feel like once he actually starts getting a little bit more of a rhythm, then we'll start seeing more of that player that he was in Colorado for most of his career.
Yeah, as you know, Jack, don't eat the bell from Taco Bell because that'll put you behind the 8 ball to start the season.
Yeah, ate some of that Italian New York pizza that was so authentic that it made him shit his pants for 3 days.
He ate Sbarro's pizza.
Yeah.
Don't get the Grand at Grand Central Station.
No,
but yeah, I mean, I agree. He's had some ups and downs. He's had some obstacles, and I don't really think it's that big of a deal. I think that the way this team is set up and the way that they should be set up, and especially like given the payroll, that if maybe like him and JD aren't getting those clutch hits, driving in those runs that you want them to, then other guys on the team should be able to pick them up and they should be able to tread water. But I mean, that just hasn't been the case. Like if they're doing bad, they should be like if two of those guys are doing bad, then they should be like a 500 team, But right now, they're what, 9-14? Is it 9-14?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they're below 500. So it's like, it's hard to justify it. It's hard to say, like, it's hard to put the blame on one person, but it is it's definitely on it's on everyone but Bogarts and maybe Devers, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, on the other side of the coin, our pitching has been really keeping us in a lot of these games. Kind of got blown out after the rain delay today, but I mean, 2 runs and one was unearned, 1 run, 1 run, 1 run. Oh, and that's over just the last few games. I mean, these are winnable. These are, there's no reason when you give up 5-6 runs over the course of 4 or 5 days, you should be losing most of those games. But you got the one that awful walk-off from the air the other night. I mean, it just hasn't not, ever felt like we've been in striking range for a lot of these games to really like blow it out of the water. It's just never been that situation.
Yeah. And especially the one that you hate to see, Jack, like you mentioned, was that the game last night with Evaldi and just how well he pitched. I mean, if he pitches that well, I mean, that's a game that you got to win, especially against the Orioles. It seems like this year we haven't really gotten like a game where like both sides of the ball have clicked, where it's like we either get like a dominant pitching performance and the offense doesn't show up, or like the offense shows up, but then the pitching isn't there either, and then you kind of lose, and you kind of lose like almost like a shootout type of game, and yeah, it seems like we really haven't had both sides of the ball click at the same time this season, which I mean that's something you're definitely looking for at some point to kind of jumpstart something for this team.
Yeah, and I mean the 7-1 game, it was like that was the one, and after that I was like, all right, maybe this is something to build on. And then that next game was the what happened in that
0-1.
Yes, they came out and they got fucking goose egged in a day game after a night game, and it was like, shit. Like, all right, here's another thing. I think the idea of mixing and matching different things and giving guys days off works really well, but when you're in a slump, it's like you literally have to throw your best guys out there every single night until the team figures it out. Every single night. Like you can't you just can't give these guys a fucking day off. Like, I'm sorry. Like you just can't. If you want to, you can't manage like a 2018 when you're suffocating. Like, that works when you're playing good baseball and you're in a rhythm and you're getting guys days off. But I mean, you kind of need a win against a divisional opponent, and you have Kike Hernandez hitting fourth, like in a day game after a night game. And I mean, fuck, you don't have JD. That was JD. It was, I think, who else? Bogarts was off that day.
Bogarts, that was the day after he went 4 for 4 with a walk. He got off. So you needed that. That's a guy that could have at least driven in one run or scored a run that game that, maybe gave you a better chance, but he got one at bat off the bench and it didn't even end up mattering.
That was another thing I wanted to bring up. So he literally had 3 hits and got his at 4 hits. 4 hits. Sorry, 4 hits.
Don't shortchange the man.
Right. Yeah. And he got his average up to like 400, and then Cora was like, "Oh, you're sitting," and that's fine. Like I said, if it's July, August, September, and you're like in a playoff spot, that's totally cool. Like, give him a day off. He's earned it. I don't understand this whole fucking like, it's so ridiculous. Like they like pressured everyone to get vaccinated for the Toronto series, which totally am in support of everyone being vaccinated on the Red Sox and in general. But like, get vaccinated for the Toronto series. Get vaccinated for Toronto series, and then they play well, and then you're like, "No, you're on the bench. Sorry, you're out." Like, we want to give him a day off because of the turf, dude. Fuck you. Like, fuck you. What do you mean the fucking turf? The fucking Blue Jays play 81 games on this fucking turf. You're literally suffocating, and you're 5 games behind the Yankees, and you have one fucking good game. They're like, no, you know what? We're gonna give our best player a day off, who's hitting 400 after a 4-hit game. Like, dude, no, play until you get out of it, and everybody plays every single fucking game until you get out of it. Like, this isn't the fucking NBA. Jesus Christ, play.
Load management.
Yeah, we're big Alex Cora fans, but even right now, he was out during that series in Tampa Bay when he had COVID and everything. But it hasn't really seemed like quite as many moves have at least clicked this year. We still trust him as the captain of the ship. But what I'm thinking, the biggest thing that's changed for him over the last few years now is the beard. I don't think he can manage with the beard. I think he needs to shave it off in order to, kind of get that previous year's mojos back. I don't know. I think now is the time to, mix it up a little bit and really, try to turn over a new page. And I think shaving might actually do that for him.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, like some of the in-game moves that were made, like I don't blame Cora for that because he wasn't managing, but the lineup was the lineup card's in his hand, unless he is in a coma or dead. Like he's making the lineup, and he's saying who sits, who starts, and like it's his. So like, yeah, Will Venable's not making out the lineup. Like it's Alex Cora, and if Bogarts is sitting after a 4-hit game, then like, I mean, you're watching the games. I know you're sick, whatever. You're in a hotel room, but you're watching the games. I mean, you saw Bogart get 4 fucking hits. Like, play the man.
Yeah.
And seeing this video you're about to see.
Jack's watching fucking Pornhub.
He's got I think he's got the pop-ups going on his laptop. I don't know. You gotta get the malware.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Oh, it's all right.
This team has just fucking driven me up a goddamn wall.
I feel you. Well, we did have a positive. I mean, this week we got Travis Shaw no longer on the team.
Yes.
So
yes.
that's big news for us. You know, we were pushing for that. I mean, listen, what was he at, like 0 for 19 to start the year or something like
With
that?
like
I mean,
a ton of Ks as well. Yeah, like he did not even look confident in any at bat that he had.
Yeah, and he didn't get a hit in spring training either. So I was like, yeah, I mean, you're going to if I could see if he was setting the world on fire in spring training, and it was like, well, the guy looked good in spring. He didn't get a hit all spring, and they gave him like, I think he was like 0 for 24 in spring training. I mean, dude,
I think he got exactly like 1 or 2. Like he was like, it made it even worse that he got 1 or 2, because then you could see he was like 0.72 or some shit, as opposed to just 0-0. Like, oh, maybe he's only gotten 3 at bats. Like, no, he's gotten at least 10 at bats, and it's under that 0.1 mark.
Yeah, and trust me, Travis Shaw, I mean, he had a great run in the major leagues for a guy that looked like at the beginning of his career was going to be like a career minor leaguer, and then broke his way into the major leagues and did fantastic with the Red Sox. And then in 2017 and 2018 was awesome with the Brewers. He's just done, he's just done. So, I mean, I'm just glad he's off the team. I don't ever like to like call for a man's job unless your name's fucking Dave O'Brien. Then I don't like to ever like, tell someone that you shouldn't have a job. But I mean, Travis Shaw did not deserve to have a job. Did not. And I thought that was gonna like be like a little bit of a wake up call for the team. Be like, hey, like no one's job is safe.
Yeah.
Like start playing well, because no one's job is safe. Honestly, I would love to see the Red Sox get rid of Christian Vasquez. Honestly, like
they're not gonna, but yeah,
they're not gonna.
Yeah.
No, they're not gonna, because like he's a staple, and I think that'll be a huge wake up call to everyone and be like, wow,
if a
this
guy
guy's
like
gone.
him, yeah.
Like, dude, you don't hit well, then you don't play. Like, you don't hit well, you don't play. Period. That's it.
Yeah,
so fucking
I
bad.
mean, another guy, I mean, that's just really struggling, Bobby Dahlbeck. You have to replace him with Franchi Cordero, and I mean, he's been doing well in Worcester this year, but it's still Franchi Cordero.
Oh.
And
Right.
I think, the conversation has started to move towards Cassis. I think, we all have our own opinions on that. Obviously, he's only played a handful of games in AAA. Part of that time was missed because of the Olympics and everything, but you kind of have to look at all the options that you have, especially when you have negative production coming from your first baseman.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, Casas has played much more AAA games than Bobby Dahlbeck, which is crazy.
Just about the same, actually. Yeah.
No, more. He's played more.
Yeah, he's played more, but only about like 3 or 4.
Yeah. I don't know if Bobby Dahlbeck ever did Bobby Dahlbeck ever play in AAA?
Yeah, he played 30 games. I looked it up because I wasn't even sure, because, he came up during 2020 when it was all those inter-squad camps down at McCoy Stadium while they're doing COVID testing in the parking lot. And then he gets called up from there. And, I mean, you kind of see, the non-seasoning that he kind of got because of that situation. And, he's striking out over 30% of the time. Only that 1 home run in Yankee Stadium, so he's not even really doing well. And he's not even hitting lefties at all either. And that's the thing that's most discouraging, because That's really is what he's all supposed to be doing right now.
Right. Exactly. So, yeah, I mean, at this point, like, I don't think you should call Casas up for like and be like, hey, you need to fix the first base position. Like, I don't think that's fair. I think you need to work him in. I think his career is much more important than that. And I don't think like trying to salvage 2022 is the reason to call up Tristan Casas. But I mean, at some point this year, if Dahlbeck is still struggling, then he's gonna get called up. I think the earliest it'll be June, though. I don't think it'll be this month. So we'll see, but I can't see it being this month.
It's not going to be this month. It's probably going to be July or August or even September. But you have to start thinking about that long term now, since you can't give Bobby Dahlbeck the keys to the car for the rest of the season, kind of like you rode that wave last year through his ups and downs. There's going to be a little bit more pressure because there's other options. And, maybe even, let's say, if Cassis isn't ready, there's 100 first basemen that you can get out there. You can sign Mitch. You can sign Mitch Moreland right now. You can sign him tomorrow. You can sign him tomorrow. And,
right now.
He could probably get you more production out of first base than Bobby Dahlbeck's going to be doing right now.
Yep. And I mean, like now you have Franchi who can platoon with Dahlbeck, but like if you didn't, then I mean, at this point, Mitch Moreland would be like the guy to play against righties, and Dahlbeck would just play against lefties. But I don't like you said, Dahlbeck's not even hitting against lefties, so it's like.
And it's a small sample size. It's like
it is
16 at bats. So I do think he can hit lefties, especially if that's exactly his role. But I really can't justify giving him the bulk of playing time at first base right now.
No, I agree.
Yeah, you definitely can. I mean, and like you said, Jack, you had texted the group chat a couple of days ago, and I think it's time to definitely start shaking things up a little bit. Maybe bringing up a guy like Cassius, or Moreland. There's other guys that have played well, too. Maybe not obviously not at the first base position, but a guy like Jarren Duran's been playing really well there. So you can, he's, an option that you can bring up if you just want to shake things up. I mean, he's played well. I think the other night he went like 4 for 5, something like that.
With a home run and a triple.
Yeah. So, I mean, even a guy like that, he's been up here in the past too. So even if you just want to shake things up in the lineup, he's even an option as well. And, he's a guy that we were looking at earlier, this spring as a guy that could potentially make an impact, up in the majors. So, he's also an option too. If you're looking to, just do something with the lineup just to try to get something going, you have a couple options. So, the door is open for that as well.
Yeah, I mean, JBJ, like, I think that he's a great option on this team for defensive purposes, but Jarren Duran is right there, and he's going to offer you pretty much the same thing offensively, if not a little bit better, and you'll get him moving in the right direction, which is to be a major league outfielder at some point. So, I mean, Jackie Bradley Jr., like, you want to play well. Like, and he hasn't, honestly, Jackie hasn't even been the issue. Like, Jackie's played like how Jackie would play. Like, that's pretty much been expected. He's a 200 hitter, and he plays great defense, and he's going to hit toward the bottom of the lineup. It's not his fault. It's you can't have 5 of those guys.
Right.
Or 4 of those guys. You can have 1, but you can't have 4.
Yeah, it feels like JBJ should kind of be that 4th outfielder. And, I mean, you don't really have even a 3rd outfielder, so he is your 3rd outfielder.
Right.
So, a guy like Jarren Duran, you might, try giving him a chance if he stays hot in Worcester. Maybe even try Bobby Dahlbeck out there a little bit. I think we've mentioned that before with the speed he can play. So he's at least somebody that, you might put in against a left-handed pitcher when JBJ's out and or Alex Verdugo needs a day off in left field. So something needs to get shaken up a little bit with this team. they called up that guy, what was it, Hill or Hall, that they ended up just sending back down anyways. But there needs to be some type of actual transaction in a way that sets a state.
Exactly. I mean, that might come from, maybe a signing. You also have the option in the trade market as well at some point this season. You can look at, bringing in a first baseman, or whatever it is that, that you think you need to do something to this lineup. So whether it's just a free agent signing or somebody in the trade market, there's definitely options out there for sure.
Yeah, there is. And I mean, I don't want to take like too much of a turn to negative town because this whole show has been absolutely negative. So on a more positive note, how do you feel? Like, what do you feel the Red Sox need to do? What are their next steps, and how do they dig themselves out of this hole to be in a good spot for July? Because in June, it's pretty much May and June is pretty much going to be like trying to catch up and make up ground. At this point, you're 7.5 games out of first.
Yep.
I mean, you're going to be playing catch up for those at least a month and a half. The next one.
Do you think maybe? I mean, I know a lot of their schedule coming up here in the next few weeks is away from the AL East. So you're seeing different teams, different players that you don't normally see throughout the year. So do you think at all like that might be something that could maybe help them snap out of this funk, get away from the division, see different teams, and hopefully that could be something that could maybe contribute to get snapping themselves out of this?
Yeah, I do. I think I do.
Yeah, no, I can agree with that. I think, really at the end of the day, the best thing that this team can do is actually just start playing to their ability. Any move that you're going to make isn't really going to be super substantial. It's going to set more of a statement than anything else than on the field, but you just need your guys to actually play and, feel like there's that connection in the clubhouse. So that's really what it's going to take more than anything. Hopefully you can have a good homestand coming up here against the Angels and White Sox, and maybe have a nice walk-off hit, maybe have a nice go-ahead home run in the 8th inning, maybe just have a complete game shutout from maybe someone like Nate Eovaldi coming up. I mean, you kind of just need that strong win, and I think that's really going to help turn the page more than any type of transaction. Even though I just said that they kind of do need a statement one, the biggest thing is going to be actually performing on the field.
No, I mean I agree. Like you're not going to actually improve your team enough where it's like this made a difference. Like if you make a transaction, it's not going to improve your team to where it's going to say you can point to it and be like that was the reason for them winning 13 of 16. Like it's not going to be like that. It's going to be maybe a transaction sends a statement, like you said, Jack, but it's not going to be like enough. It's going to be they just have to play better and they just have to win games and they need to have some momentum, right? Momentum is real.
Yeah.
It is a real thing, and it is a good thing for teams that are in a dogfight of 162 game season where they did not play, the majority of spring training. That's what they need. They just need some momentum. They need some good wins, some happy wins. They need to hear some dirty water and
yeah,
have some fun. They're not having fun. No one's having fun right now. The fans aren't having fun. The management's not having fun. The coaching staff isn't having fun. The players aren't having fun. No one's having fun. So they just gotta have some fun.
Yeah, it's all about fun. FUN. SpongeBob said it.
Yep.
I think the frustrating thing is that we've seen how well this team can play, and we still. I mean, I think you guys can agree too. This team can still win at a high level and play well. And I think that's the most frustrating part of it all is because what these guys are capable of doing, and it's just not clicking. It's just not they're not doing it right now, and that's the most frustrating part. Because these guys are very much capable of stringing wins together, and they can they're right in it for the division. Like, this team can win. They can win a division. They can win games, and they can make a deep run. And I think that's just the most frustrating part is you're not getting it from them right now. And I think, hopefully this homestand you'll see that, and it'll head in the right direction.
Yeah, you got the stopper, Michael Wacha, on the mound next. And the Yankees and the Blue Jays are going to battle it out with each other. Hopefully they beat each other up. You got the Angels at home. You got the White Sox, who got off to a very, very similar start as the Red Sox. I mean, they're 8-13. Everyone's kind of wondering the same thing about the White Sox as they are the Red Sox. So these are two teams that are in desperation mode. Then, you go to Atlanta to play another team that is in a very similar situation as the Red Sox and the White Sox. They are 10-13, where, I mean, they don't have as much pressure. They just won a World Series. So no one's really talking about that. But this is another team that's kind of like, all right, we got to start figuring out. Now it's May, So you got some pretty vulnerable ball clubs. And then you go to Texas, where they're 8-14. Then, you play the Astros. That's going to hurt. The Mariners are a good team. So,
I mean, we don't need to go over the entire schedule for the year at this point, but
yeah. Well, that's what you have. Really.
And then we're going to be facing the Orioles in October, and we're going to be facing, the Kansas City Royals in, late July.
You're right. I was just going over May.
I know. If you haven't noticed, I'm a complete asshole. So
no. But I do agree. But yeah. So that's it.
I think one of the worst things too is the Yankees have won like 8 or 9 in a row. They're not running away with the division because it's only May 1st right now. But it doesn't help that you're 6.5, 7 games out from them right now. It's already ground that you have to cover up. And we saw last year, literally a game or two was the difference between playing at Fenway Park versus Yankee Stadium in that wild card series. So these matter just as much as, games in August, September, or October. And you're going to have to really make up that ground in May and June to kind of see where the team's going to be at in terms of the trade deadline, in terms of, what you're going to do with Xander Bogaerts, what you're going to do with a whole lot of other guys on the team. So now is honestly as critical a point of the season as we're going to see for the entire year.
Yep, I agree.
The month of May is going to be big. This could be a big turning point of the season this month.
I'm not ready to give up yet. Absolutely
not, yeah.
But I'm pretty pissed off.
Yeah, if we keep playing like this, then it's really going to start getting harder and harder. So now is the time you have to, like I've been saying, turn that page and, kind of start the season over in that type of regard.
We're going to be big mad, as the kids say.
Yeah. Yep.
Big depressed, as
big
I have
depressed.
Junior high.
Thanks. No, we got to, I mean, dude, the 99, when the kids are not eating right now. Yeah. Let me tell you. Kids are not eating.
Thanks, Obama.
I haven't heard that joke before, so thank you.
Yep. I figured you'd like that.
Yeah.
Our son Jack is starving right now.
I know. I feel like that Patrick meme, like, can't you see I'm gonna starve now? I'm thankfully for the 8 people that watch on YouTube. I am not going to show my tummy, but you get the idea.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. I don't think we need.
And if you're listening, then yeah, I did show my tummy, but.
Yep, he did.
Yeah.
We saw it. We saw it for sure.
Yep. We saw it. We all saw it.
But big week ahead of us here. Hopefully we can get a nice series against the Angels. Is Ohtani pitching, Jack, this series?
I think he should be. It's a matter of which day. I actually am trying to go to one of those games, and I also have tickets to that 11:30 a.m. game next Sunday on Mother's Day. What
Yeah.
the absolute fuck is that? Why?
Yeah, I don't. Is that one of the Apple games?
Peacock.
NBC
Oh, Peacock.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yep,
it's gonna be the
Peacock.
first one of them too. So like, even worse because like I'm not gonna. And it's perfect that I already have tickets to the game because I don't care about any of the other games on the rest of that schedule. I'm like, okay, I can do without these. These games just don't exist for me anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
At le-
fucking ridiculous.
At least
Yeah.
you'll get to see the nice icy Mother's Day fits.
Yeah. So if you're listening and you want to go to the game with me, just like let me know. Like, are you guys free?
I'm not. No, I got softball.
Yeah, I figure because it's Mother's Day. I didn't realize that. Like, I love my mom. I'm 500 miles away. So like, it doesn't matter if I go see a baseball game. I'm gonna call her probably 8 fucking Bud Lights deep after the game. But it's the thought that counts. I already got her a gift and everything. It's fine.
But it's hard. It's hard finding people to go.
If you can't find
Yeah.
if you can't find anybody, Jack, just FaceTime your mom, put the phone on the seat, and she can watch the game with you.
Yep.
There you go.
My mom does not care about baseball, like really at all. She's happy for me when the Red Sox do good, but she's actually been to a few historical games. She was at game 162 with me in Baltimore in 2011 and saw me
Yikes.
completely fucking break down. And she was also at the Kirk Gibson Dodger game against Dennis Eckersley. She was at that just randomly because it was like 1978 and she was just in Los Angeles, or 88. I mean,
Yeah.
and like meanwhile, like the only historic game I've been to is for my team collapsing.
You did tell me that about your mom being at the Kirk Gibson game. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Lori, if you're listening, happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the
Yeah.
moms out there, all
Yep.
the MILFs.
Yep. Big
what's
milk,
up?
guys.
Yep.
How you doing?
I feel like this can be a shorter episode. We already talked about this team fucking too much.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's just not much to go over at this point. It's just it's a little more of a somber episode, but hey, this will be in the documentary.
Yeah.
This episode.
This episode will be it.
How
Yeah.
bad
We're not running.
on April 1st, right? On April. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, it's May 1st
yeah.
right now, but by the time this episode comes out, it'll be May 2nd. So on May 2nd, how bad it was for the Boston Red Sox. This will be in the documentary when we win the World Series.
This is going to be in the DVD, yeah.
I love this part of the DVD.
Yeah. Dude, I haven't heard that name in years. What year is it?
This will be on the Red Sox World Series VHS video.
Yeah.
You can buy it at your local.
Digital
You can get it at your local Blockbuster.
No, your Shaw's and Star Market.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we turn around this week. Hopefully next week is a bit a much more joyful episode.
Yeah, I'm confident.
Yeah, I think it will be. We're gonna manifest.
I think we're gonna be doing a whole great Mother's Day episode next Sunday or whenever we end up doing it.
Yeah.
And,
No.
that will be like, I can't believe we won 7 games in a row, even though we only played 6. It's quite
Yeah. Right. Oh man. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
I'm in the corner watching you kiss her. No.
No.